Yeah. Yeah. What's going on, faithfuls? Sound the alarms, man. It's time. March Madness is here. You guys know what to do already. And if you don't, load up the questions. I'm going to answer them all. Not going to hold back at it all, guys. Any questions that you guys have for 15 minutes straight, you can fire them off at random. I don't care what it's about. You want some life advice? Now is your time, man. This is March Madness at midnight here on the East Coast, man. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all, and let's rock and roll. All right. Looks like we got one question here so far from my man Nick Donald, man. Look at you being the first one in here. Wait till DJ Malone sees this. He's going to flip out, man. All right. He says, who are 3 players currently on the roster that did not play last year that you think will have a significant role this season? Wow. 3 players who didn't play. I mean, like at all? That's all right. I mean, damn. Everybody, I was just gonna say Danny Gray, but he technically played. He just didn't contribute on the offensive side of the ball. But he did get some snaps there. I can't say him. This is a tough one, man. Actually, I like that. This is my first question. Let me tell you what. This is what I'm gonna do. Let me pull up the roster and see who's here that didn't contribute that could also contribute this year. Because nope. I don't think Jason Verrett is coming back. Let's see here. It's a good question. So who on the team that didn't contribute last year could contribute this year? All right. So we could see McKivitz. Did he fill in a couple of games this year? We could see McKivitz. We could see damn, what's my man's name? Oh, the center that we drafted. Or not drafted, I'm sorry. The center that we signed in free agency. After the draft. The undrafted free agent. Damn, my mind is blanking. I was gonna say West, but not West. There's also the defensive lineman. All right, so Kalia Davis is one for sure. Good, yeah, there you go, Danny Garcia. Kalia Davis is one. Zakel, that's his name. Zakel. All right. Nina Rich, you're right. I said Danny Gray right away, but Danny Gray technically played, so I didn't want to say his name. I felt like I wasn't following the rules there. I was trying to find somebody who didn't play at all, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure there's anybody else that's left. Burke, Shire, Warner, Greenlaw, Robinson, Pepper, Bronskill, Poe. Ooh, maybe Poe. How's that? I'll use Poe. I knew there was another offensive lineman somewhere that I couldn't remember. Jason freaking Poe. All right, so that's what I'll do. I'll say Poe. I'll say Poe. All right, good question to start off the show, man. Look at that, man. That freaking question took me 3 minutes to get through, man. That was painful. All right. Aaron says, what do you think about the extra money we're able to accumulate, and how much better do you feel about free agency? All right, so the numbers came out today, and the Niners had to allocate some money to the roster bonuses and things like that, workout bonuses and playing time bonuses and all that. And the numbers changed. But look, first I thought the numbers went up, as in we spent more. And then someone said, no, the money went down. And no matter how you look at it, I mean, the cap space, we still have to do some maneuvering. But I am a firm believer that the salary cap, it's fake to a point. Not that it's all the way fake, but it makes it hard to move some players that are on your roster that, like, so a Deebo Samuel, right? A Deebo Samuel is not really going to get traded. But it'll be something that people talk about because there's speculation about whether or not the Niners are going to trade him, right? It'll get talked about, but the salary cap, the hits, the dead money that will be associated with him, it's going to be too much for the Niners to do. So that's not going to happen. However, so it's real in that sense. The fake part of it is there's players that they want to bring in, they'll bring them in. They will bring them in. I mean, there was a year where the Saints were over $100 million under the cap space or something like that, and they had a free agency period. They signed people. Teams figured out ways to move money around. But kudos to the team. They did benefit. from the new numbers that came out today. DJ Malone, better late than never, man. All right. He says, what is the meaning of life? Could all of your family members in your household pull off dreads? I'm not flipping out. Yes, you were. It's all right. It's okay. What is your spirit animal? I did a couple of edibles and you looked like a lion. Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So what is the meaning of life? I actually think it's pretty simple. Peace and happiness, by any means necessary. My version of peace and happiness might not be someone else's peace or happiness. But I like to come home to my chaotic house, right? Like I like that. That makes me feel good. When I take a vacation, when I'm away and it's all, we're in this big, beautiful hotel suite, we're on a resort. I'm like, man, I miss my kids. Like I want the chaos, And then when we do go out and I got the kids with us, it's like, I can't wait to go back home. It's all about home. It's all about home for me. All right. Could all of your family members in your house pull off dreads? All but one. I don't think my wife would look right with dreads. But my kids could pull it off. They have the curly hair and everything like that. But yeah, actually, one of my daughters asked if she could get dreads, but it's such a long-term commitment and such a lifestyle that we don't know if she's really ready for that kind of commitment. So we told her not yet. We'll wait and see how she feels in a couple of years. All right. What is your spirit animal? I don't know, man. Spirit animal is kind of like something that you take after, right? Like a personality trait or something that you see in another animal, that you see it in yourself. I'm probably a weird one, like an ostrich or some shit like that. I don't know, man. What's an animal that's like a well-rounded animal that is aggressive when it needs to be, but really, really doesn't want to resort to that. But when it does resort to it, like people are like, "Oh shit, okay, you got that." Like a hippo, right? Like a hippo. I don't know. I don't know, man. I gotta think about that one some more. That's a good one. And I'm happy that I look like a lion. My uncle says when I started gaining weight, my cheeks got big. He said I look like the guy from The Wiz. So yeah. He said, "What about McCrary Ball?" That's a good one. That was a good one. I felt like there was someone else in the secondary that I was forgetting too. So that's pretty cool. Brandon Trejo says 2 questions. How do you feel about us signing Ezekiel Elliott at center once he gets cut? Oh, I get it. No. So the fact that he got trucked the way that he did, nah, no thanks. That was a weird looking play the Cowboys ran, and I honestly, if we were to be serious and ask me if I wanted to sign him, even just as a running back, no, I'm good. No, thank you at all. Like I wouldn't even want him on the Niners in that area. He says, which rookie from last year's draft would you like to take a big step in year 2? For me, it's Jackson. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think the Niners are going to need some real help with that defensive line and the pass rush and consistency there. I'm definitely going to go with Jackson. A big part of me wanted to go with Danny Gray. I was really excited for Danny Gray in the season I thought he was going to have in the second half of the season. But the offense will be fine. If one thing that we saw this year, Kyle's going to get some offensive production. So I'm not worried about the offense. I know the defense was just as good as the offense, maybe even better, right? But there were a lot of points in time in every game all year long where the defensive line just didn't show up for a certain amount of series. We were very fortunate we had the linebackers that we had and the secondary that we had, believe it or not. But the defensive line, not more often than not, I don't want to sound super negative, but I was disappointed in them more than I thought I would be. All right, here, let's see. He says, "Hey, Mike, start, bench, cut." All right, so this is like marry, eat, and kill. I forget. I don't know what the 3 things are. Forget it. He says, "Hey, Mike, start, bench, cut. Penny Hardaway, Paul George, or Tracy McGrady." Wow. I'm gonna start Penny. I'm gonna bench bench Paul George. No, I'm going to cut Paul George and bench Tracy McGrady. At least he can get back in there. How's that? All right. Nick says, is Nick ever coming back to the show? You're participating right now. Hi, Nick. See, that was easy. I like that one. What do y'all think about Dalton Schultz being released? What's he scheduled to make next year? Well, let's look up what his projected value is. And then I can give you some more information on that. I'm not a cap guy, but let's see what we got here. All right. So all right. Where's my website that I look up people's projected salary? Here we go, right here. All right. So according to this, he is projected to make market value. What? 10 million a year? 10.9? Bruh. I don't know if he's going to make that kind of money. I'm not 100% sure. I think that people from Dallas tend to be slightly overrated. And I think that's all due to good marketing and all by Jerry Jones and his team. But this guy, I don't know that I would be going out there going crazy trying to find him. He finished the year with 5 touchdowns and 577 yards. So 10 yards a pop. Like I'm not breaking the bank for a guy like that. Sorry. So we'll see what he gets. I would say, I mean, I guess 10 million is not a lot for a tight end nowadays. But he's got to be a focal point in your offense. I don't think that he would be a focal point. I think he would be a contributor. So I'm going to say somewhere between 8.5 and 9.75. How's that? Have you thought about doing this full time like Breezy? Absolutely not. I love this, and I think that's why I have such a good time every time I come on, is because I don't look at this as work. I come on here and I sincerely have a good time. People yell at me, people get upset at my takes and all that stuff, and I don't take it personal at all because this is something that I do for fun. And I think that when people start doing it full time, and this is not about Breezy, but I know you were talking about how often he does it, right? I think when people start doing this full time, it starts putting a lot of added pressure on them. And it's not that the pressure can't be successful, but this is such a limited market, right? 49ers. I think that if I was doing this full time, I'd be covering the entire NFL. I wouldn't just do just one team because if I'm doing it full time, that means I'm doing this for financial gain, and I'm not there. This has never been about the money for me. So no, I've not thought about doing it full time. All right. Mike, would you like the 49ers to get Frank Clark? Absolutely not. I actually sent the text message out to the team, to the guys in the group chat. And I said, look, I love the Niners and we desperately need defensive line help. I think that's one of our biggest needs. I said, but I will have, I said, I would not be able to support Frank Clark at all coming to the 49ers. I know his history and I don't respect that guy. So absolutely not. Not that I wouldn't stop rooting for the Niners. Let me be very clear here, but he would be someone that I would never, ever discuss on this show, like ever. Not, I don't care if he has a game-winning sack or whatever. It just wouldn't happen for me. That's just what I stand on. That's all. Here we go here. This might be the last one. We'll see here. As far as us drafting a QB3, should we take player comps into account? He says, regarding that, and who does Trey play similarly to in the NFC? Why do I feel like Rodgers is going to be Jets like Favre did? That's funny. But just remember that Brett Favre went to Minnesota first. He left and stayed somewhere else in the division, which I thought was weird. I'm going to say that we should not be drafting players based off of their comps. That never, ever, ever shakes out. But, people are going to do that. And who does Trey play similarly to in the NFC? This is more projection here because we haven't really seen Lance do anything consistently. I'm assuming that you mean a current player in the NFC, right? So I'm going to say, if I had to pick someone currently in the NFC, NFC. This is tough. I'm going to say Marcus Mariota. Well, he's technically a free agent right now, right? But I think that if I had to find a comp from someone and how they played last year, it might be him. Let me see what other guys are out there before I stamp that as my official answer. I think he's a little more athletic than Dak Prescott, maybe not by much, and I think he's got a bigger arm than him. Kyler Murray, but he doesn't run around as much as Kyler. Kirk Cousins, no. Jalen Hurts, I don't think so. Maybe Hurts, but I don't think so. Carson Wentz, Jameis Winston. He's like Jameis Winston, but more athletic, right? Trey Lance, Justin Fields. You might be on something with the Justin Fields thing. Oh, I got it. Danny Jones. He plays like Daniel Jones. That's going to be my NFC guy, Daniel Jones. Big arm, can move when he needs to. Yeah, I'm going to go with Daniel Jones. And I'm only going to answer this one because I've been wanting to remind people we will be doing mock draft shows, but after free agency starts. I don't personally put a lot of time into the draft until after I know what we do in free agency. That comes first. And so I'm not going to sit here and set big boards and things like that and do all these mocks. And then once we go through free agency, they, we don't need this position anymore. We don't need that. That changes everything about your draft strategy. So I take my time and I wait until that's all done. All right, guys, that's going to do it, though. We are over our 15 minutes. I want to thank you all for checking us out. Thank you all for rocking with us. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys sometime tomorrow.